Hello there, this is the American Anarchist, and today the subject of this video is going to be ableism. So, this one I specifically want to talk about Bill Maher and the Anti-Vax movement, which is very anti-science for one. It's fallacious, or it uses a fallacious argument to defend its position. That fallacious argument being being a false equivalence argument, but it's also so they have been debunked for one, and two, it's an ableist argument anyway, even if it was true. So, Bill Maher has basically said that he wouldn't want the government giving him shots. I mean, I understand that why everyone hates, seems to have a hatred of the government or dislike the government, but do you really think a capitalist is going to be better? No. And then, yeah, you have you have this whole anti-vax movement. This anti-vax movement argues that you can get autism from vaccines, which, one, that's a false equivalence, assuming that measles, mumps, and rubella are not nearly as bad. Well, one, I've never heard of a person dying from autism. I mean, sure, they can be disabled in certain ways in life from autism. I myself have Asperger's syndrome, so I understand that autism can have an effect on your life that you don't expect, or that you wouldn't expect if you didn't have Asperger's. But still, I had it before I ever had any vaccines. So it didn't just develop, it didn't come because of the MMR vaccine. But I'm going to put aside the anti-science premise just to bring up the ableism subject, because I think ableism is something very important to talk about. So the whole argument, so ableism often plays on the fears of having someone disabled. It looks down on people as being lesser if they're disabled. I understand that this is a society that in some ways you need to be able to walk, and you need to be able to do certain things, but we should also be accommodating people who can't do those on their own, who need assistance, and we shouldn't be stigmatizing them for something they have no control over. Ableism is a cancer on society, in my opinion. It is very harmful to society, and it makes society less accepting of people with these disabilities. And I am against all forms of prejudice that hurt people. I'm against the idea of racial prejudice. I'm against the idea of prejudice against someone based on their gender, which is why I'm for trans rights, and why I'm a feminist. So that's why I'm a trans feminist and a feminist. I'm for LGBTQ rights, and I am for allowing people to be who they are, things that they cannot control. And ableism is one of those things that, in some ways, it's a more accepted form of prejudice. You hear people call others retards all the time. It's used as an insult. It's an ableist term, though, and and if you're using that term to degrade someone, it's pretty fucking messed up when you think of it. When you think of it, calling someone a retard, calling someone, and also ableism is hard to avoid due to the fact that our that we have used these terms. I myself have used a lot of terms such as stupid, idiotic, moronic. I'm trying to use better vocabulary because I think leading by example is the best thing that I can do. So I say anti-intellectual, or like basically just being, or uneducated, uninformed, like your opinion is uninformed. It's using another descriptive term to describe something instead of trying to take a whole disability and turning that into an insult. So when the anti-vax movement says, avoid this because you have autism, because this can cause autism, well, why is autism such a big deal to you? Who exactly does it hurt? If there has been a general improvement over society. If you take the vaccines away from kids because you're afraid that they're going to get autism, you're going to have a lot more kids dying and a lot more kids being disabled by these diseases. So if you really cared about doing the best you could to prevent these preventable diseases from causing disabilities, why are you targeting autism? You should be targeting something like polio, measles, mumps, rubella, any of these other diseases that can cause people to have disabilities in life. If that is assuming that they don't die, why do those get away with it? It's something to think about. This is the American Anarchist. Have a wonderful day, and I will make another episode later. Also, tune in this Thursday to see me on The Skeptic Feminist if you want to hear me talk about anarchism. If you want to support the whole page, I will definitely be tweeting out the link on Twitter, or tweeting out the link to the YouTube stream, not to the Hangouts room. And I will be seeing you guys on Thursday.